This is going to be a quick backtesting video for gold probability map indicators I am working on at the moment. So I have created 4 of them for Asia, for London, New York AM and New York PM. So 4 probability map indicators for gold. You can use it on the Forex, you can use it on futures. So let's do a little backtesting on the London probability map. Let's start today, 3rd of November. We had the probabilities to sweep the high first and we swept it, but I can't see any trade entry. Let's check last Friday. Last Friday we had 70% of sweep the high first, and you know the way I am trading, I am not targeting the high itself, I am realizing the profits on the way there. So as soon as we open up 2 o'clock, I can see that we are reacting of the singular fair value gap, so there is no reason for any sweep in here if we are inside of the fair value gap, and I can see that we start inverting in here towards the more probable high. So I would scalp for about 3 points, so that will be a winner. So that was Friday. Let's check Thursday. Thursday we had 79.7% of sweep the high first rather than 17% of sweep the low first. So what do we have in here? So if we've got more probable high to take, I am looking for longs only, and it needs to be sensible long. Need to find a common sense. Like we open up 2 o'clock, can't see an inversion, no trade entry, so we start dropping. We've got inversion in here. Do I enter in here? No any sweeps, no any reaction of the fair value gap. No, I am not entering with my funded. We drop in. Do I enter in here? Absolutely. And why is that? We are reacting of the 50% of the previous zone, low to high 50%. We are reacting of that. We had a sweep in here, we had a sweep in here, so beautiful. So I am entering long in here about 3 points. I can leave a runner or something, but most likely I'd be off. So that was Thursday. In here we had 67.8% of sweep the high first. Do I enter in here? We open up 2 AM. First attempt failed. We're dropping lower. We are reacting off the breaker block. As you can see in here, the whole range, top to bottom, 50%. So we had a range. We visited 50% of that range. We've got a displacement. This is a beautiful displacement you want to see, but that was before. So, but we've got an volume imbalance that we are reacting off from, and we've got a breaker block in here as well after some sweeps. So many confirmations, and our bias is long, so I am entering long in here for sure. So that was Tuesday. Let's check, no, that was Wednesday. Let's check Tuesday. So we had 76.9% of sweeping the high first. We open up 2 o'clock. Once we open up, I can see that we are sweeping some highs in here. They're sweeping that high, and immediately inverting the fair value gap. That was the fair value gap that was responsible for sweep. That's important as well. No, not that. Gold 3 points. So I am entering here. If I am scared to enter in here, this candle printed out a bearish fair value gap. That's another confirmation. The target is below us. So that's Tuesday, another winner. Let's check Monday. What happened on Monday? Monday we had 70% of sweeping the high first. Do I enter in there? Needs to be sensible entry. On Monday we open up 2 o'clock. We inverted fair value gap in here, but but that fair value gap we failed to invert in here. 1 candle, 2 candle, 3 candles, 4 candles, 5 candles, 6 candles. We so many times we failed to invert. That's a red flag in my eyes. And the 7th candle, it doesn't convince me neither. I am not risking my funded with a copier to enter that trade, definitely not. Do I enter in here? There was no sweep, no reaction of the fair value gap. I just presume it's some sort of manipulation. I am dropping it. I am not trading in those situations like this one. Previous day, do I have a trade entry in here? So we had 76.9% of sweeping the high first. Right, so what happened in here? We open up 2 o'clock. So exactly in here, we open up in here. We had an attempt of going upwards, and we've got a lot of bearish signatures. So it's obvious that we are going downwards, right? And we've got 76.9% of sweeping the low first. So I would, how ICT call it, if we invert the fair value gap upwards and then downwards again, that's the Reaper fair value gap, isn't it? So if I see that we are reacting of the fair value gap, the bias is clearly bearish and my target is below us, I am entering a short in here. So that's Friday. Let's check another one. I will do a couple more. In here we had 79% sweeping the high first, but there was no trade entry. In here we had 75.4% of sweeping the high first. We opened up 2 o'clock. We started dropping. We reacted of the 50% of the previous range, which is absolutely beautiful, up to the tick, and we inverted the fair value gap and start going upwards. So that's another winner. Let's do one more in London. So what do we have in here? I can't see any trade entry, and that low was revisited, so I wouldn't take a trade in here. So no. So let's check New York AM, for example. New York AM. So there was no trade entry in here. In here, right, we open up. That's the one. We open up in here, but I can't see any trade entry. In here, we had 68.6% of sweeping the high first. Right. We open up 8 o'clock. We drop down a little bit. We are working on inversion. We finally inverted that fair value gap, but it still doesn't convince me. And why is that? We've got a number over probably 10 candles of trying to invert it, and it's clearly way too many. There is no strong signal for a long trade entry in my eyes. I am not risking my funded. So we start dropping lower, and we've got multiple sweeps. We swept those equal lows, and we swept even more lows. And where is the 50%? Even lower. And we've got a beautiful displacement, right? So we closed above the order block in here. We created a bullish fair value gap. We inverted that fair value gap. That's more than enough for me to head into the more probable high that was pointed out by the indicator. So yeah, that's it. That's the gold probability maps indicators.